Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, March 21st, and we welcome you to our regularly scheduled City Council meeting. We are going to begin by calling this meeting to order. We're now going to stand for our Pledge of Allegiance, and then we're going to remain standing for words of inspiration by Father Tony Richter from Guardian Angels Catholic Church.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Pastor Richter?
I have to say that before I begin that Guardian Angels has been part of Clawson for 100 years. We are celebrating our 100th year, so it is great that we are here tonight with words of inspiration. My words of inspiration begin with the word love. Love really helps us depend on so many ways in which we encounter. And love connects us to God, and every encounter that we have is also an encounter with God. Our happiness depends on love and how we love one another. Almost everything that we do brings about happiness when we love each other. Mother Teresa spoke about happiness, and the happiest people in the world are people who love each other fully and truly. As we gather here tonight in Clawson, we ask that God fill us with his love, fill our hearts and our minds. Our city is home to so many people who experience and need to experience love and happiness. Even in times of struggle, we need to find love and happiness. May tonight our meeting be filled with that love that brings about happiness and joy. We ask that God protect all of our city officials, our civil servants, and to all of our residents. And tonight we also ask God to bless our council. And may the city council and all of our residents find happiness and joy. And we ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Father Richter. Roll call, please.
Mayor Milan.
Here.
Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Sampson. I see you. We can hear you, but that's about it.
That's about it.
Councilmember Shepherd.
Here.
Councilmember Tinlin.
Here.
That is a quorum, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. First item will be approval of our agenda. Councilmember Tinley.
Madam Mayor, I motion that item E in Section 9 new business be removed from tonight's agenda.
Okay, is there any support?
Support.
Thank you. Any other amendments to our agenda?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to move that we do a Spirit of Clawson Award this evening.
Okay,
Support.
thank you.
Mr. Tinlin, would you like, is that a friendly amendment to your motion? You okay with that? Then we don't have to do it twice.
Thank
Cool.
you. And then we'll put that at 7B, the Spirit of Clawson Award. That's agreeable.
Okay.
Anything else? Is that good? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Mayor Milan.
Yes,
Councilmember Shepherd.
Yes.
Councilmember Tinlin.
Yes.
We are amended.
thank you. Next item on the agenda is public comment for items on the agenda. If you'd like to speak to any item that is on our agenda this evening, you may come to the podium, and we'll allot you 3 minutes if you state your name and your address. Seeing no one moving, we will move on to the next item, which is proclamations and presentations. The first item we have is a proclamation recognizing Women's History Month. Just had it. Let's see. This is what happens when you have lots of papers. That. So if you pay attention to month celebrations, the month of March is a celebration of women and women's accomplishments. And we are acknowledging that this evening, not because we don't also appreciate men and men accomplishments, but because it's just time, that's all. Thanks, I did have it. And it'll show up as soon as I
An emergency
put
packet
this
here.
down. Good job. See how prepared and how well we work together? Please note. This proclamation says, whereas women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways, and whereas women have and continue to play critical economic, cultural, and social roles in every sphere of American life by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home, and whereas women have played a unique role throughout the history of the nation by providing the majority of our volunteer labor force, and whereas women were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions in America, and whereas women of every race, class, and ethnic background served as our early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement in our nation's history, and whereas women have served our country courageously in the military, and whereas women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and the peace movement, which creates a more fair and just society for all. And whereas despite these contributions, the role of women in our society has been often overlooked and undervalued in the literature, teaching, and study of American history. Now therefore be it resolved by City Council of the City of Clawson that March be designated as Women's History Month, and we call upon the residents of Clawson to observe March as Women's History Month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and to recognize the outstanding contributions of the dynamic, important women who serve as elected officials, department heads, police officers, employees, board members, and volunteers to the City of Clawson. That concludes that. And the goal was, if women showed up, we were going to take a picture of all the great women in our community. But, and I'm not even going to say but, I'm going to say, ladies in this audience, please join me in the front. Let's take a picture in solidarity of women who showed up for City Council on this day. And if someone can take a photo, I'd appreciate it. And if all of council and our city manager would like to join in, please feel free to join in. Make it more robust.
All right, Three Musketeers.
You guys want to slide over a little bit?
We have to do a pause. Jeannie, since you volunteer on our boards and commissions, would you please take a photo with us today?
Me? National Women's
so it
Month.
works
I'm
out
not very
well.
photogenic, you know, in my mind's eye, I'm still a young duck, but
Aren't we all?
Awesome.
Thank you. Honey, stay here. So, the next item on our agenda was a Clawson City Council Community Spirit Award. I don't know if we can meet her, so what time is it, just in case, right? We present this award in a recognition of your community spirit. Your active participation and selfless commitment to the Clawson community, as demonstrated by your many years of volunteer and public services through the activities, thank you, such as founding the Clawson Food Bank, serving in the Boy Scouts, your tireless efforts for the Clawson Farmers Market, chairing the Clawson Youth Assistance, serving on the Clawson City Council, first as a council member and then for many years as our beloved mayor, and now for your service as our representative to the Oakland County Board of Commissioners. These are just a sampling of the activities that you participate in. There are far too many to list. Your name is synonymous with Clawson. You literally brought the heart to the city, as under your leadership, we adopted the phrase, the little city with a big heart. You have represented us well, and we are proud to call you our friend. We appreciate your many sacrifices and for making a difference in our community. You are an example of the true heart of Clawson, and we thank you for your many contributions and for being the best part of Clawson.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It's, do I get my award?
Yeah, you get your award. That's what I'm getting. Come on, you guys, photo
It's
op.
been a lot of fun, so thank you, everybody. And I still have fun, so I still continue to do what I do, because the goal is to make life better for one person at a time. And if I can affect you positively, that brings me joy and happiness, and I'm able to sleep well at night. Thank you.
We're all for joy and happiness and sleeping well at night,
Yes.
right? Mr. Raker, are you joining us on this? Oh, if you'd like. This is for you.
Oh, thank you.
This is for
Oh.
you.
Oh, my. What is this?
This is, it says, I am the heart of Clausen,
Oh,
and it's an award.
Yeah.
okay. Thank
Go on
you.
your shelf somewhere.
All right. Woo-hoo. And it, like,
You.
oh.
Great.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is like being the light of the world.
You are the
This
light
is
of
our
the
own little
world.
world. Thank you.
A city on a hill. Okay, thank you for that. Now, we're going on to consideration of approving the following consent agenda. First item on the consent agenda would be minutes of the regular city council meeting held on Tuesday, March 7th, 2023, as presented, and then a list of bills in the amount of $1,022,438.76.
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Support.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Milan?
Yes.
Councilmember Shepherd?
Yes.
Councilmember Tinlin?
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have approved our consent agenda. We'll now move on to new business. The first item on our new business would be consideration of approving the special event request by the Clausen Farmers Market to use the Clausen City Park parking area to hold their 2023 events. Thank you.
So they know who you are.
Yeah, just in case. Mrs. Lubes, you're here to talk to us about this event, I'm sure?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Do you need a
Oh,
motion
wait,
first?
sorry, we do need a motion
I was
first.
getting that. Madam Mayor, I move the special event request by the 2023 Clausen Craft and Flea Market with farmers to use the Clausen City Park parking area for the 2023 Clausen Farmers Market season be approved as presented.
Support.
Thank you.
Thank you. We've had a Clausen Farmers Market since 2009. It's changed throughout the years. We've tried different structures in different times. So we've moved from Clausen Farmers Market to the Craft and Flea Market with a farmer because we have one farmer. And our Facebook is the Clausen Summer Park Market. So we are going to operate 7 Sundays this year. Our first Sunday is May 21st. And then in June, July, and August, it's the second and fourth Sunday of each month. So that would be June 11th, June 25th, July 9th, July 23rd, August 13th, and August 27th. So each time the market is held, we have a special event. In June, we have Touch a Truck Day, where our police, fire, DPW, and ambulance services will be there with their vehicles. In July, we have bounce and obstacle inflatables for kids to utilize. In August, we have the police department school supply fundraiser and an Oakland County nature table. Also, at many of the markets, we'll have a free Zumba class that begins at 11 and a free yoga class on the other weeks that begins at 10:30. And of course, every week we have music there. So we use the parking lot. We do use the restrooms. I will have a banner for the Elmwood and Maine area. I have some lawn signs to put out, and I will have flyers out and about throughout the city. Right now, our market committee is myself, Lynn Eads, Todd Owens, and Jonathan Knotts of T&I Credit Union. He's our finance person. We also have Shella, who's new to the chamber, who's interested in being part of the market, and we'll incorporate that also. So each each market day, we look for vendors. The more the merrier. We look for food vendors, craft vendors, flea vendors. Happy to have everyone. Any questions about the market?
No questions. Then, no questions, roll call, please.
Councilmember Shepherd,
Yes.
Councilmember Tinlin,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Mayor Milan.
Yes.
All good.
Thank you. I do want to add one more. So that third weekend in May appears to be a busy weekend in Clawson. And I know our friends at the library, and I'm going to guess you'll be speaking to that shortly, are having an event. So the Clawson Market at the park is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and the Friends of the Library event at the library is 11 to 3 p.m. So I will have flyers out, and on my flyers, we're going to also invite people to visit the library also, because we're a small community. We use the same volunteers. We need to support each other all the time.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have approved the farmer's market for the weekends coming up, and now we're going to move to item 9B, which is consideration of the special event request from Penny Lubes, Clawson Youth Assistance, to use the Clawson City Park for the 2023 Trick or Treat Trail. Would someone like to make a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move the special event request by the Clawson Youth Assistants to conduct their trick or treat trail at the Clawson City Park be approved as presented.
Support.
Thank you. What would you like to tell us about the Trick or Treat Trail?
This is one of our popular events. It's been in existence almost as long as the farmer's market has. So kids in costume trick or treat around the wood chip trail, and our local businesses, clubs, and community people are the vendors who pass out the candy at designated spots around the trail. So generally, we have about 1,500 people. We have a long line that's throughout the park, around the football field, and it goes around to Shams. So we also have adapted throughout the years. I have a traveling magician who walks throughout the line to keep people waiting, busy, and occupied. I have many decorations I put up in the park, as my shed and garage can attest, filled with Halloween decorations. We have a partnership with Parks and Rec, who provide the donuts and cider that we have in the pavilion. So the families will end up at the pavilion where there's a DJ with music and the food there. In our early years, we meet the needs of the community. In our early years, when we first started, our library was there, and we had a lot of hay bales out, and the librarians would read Halloween books to the kids while they had donuts and cider. So we've done many different things, and I am proud to continue to be part of Youth Assistance. So on that day, I would block the parking lot off at 3 o'clock. The trail doesn't start till later, but I don't want any vehicles in the parking lot, and I do put signs up, no parking, and the sawhorses, so that safety is paramount for that night. I also, in our youth assistance, one of the things we do is we have youth recognition awards, different subjects. So that's May 10th. Everybody will be getting an invitation. Nominations are going out. So students 7 to 17 years old are nominated for youth recognition awards. And we have a ceremony with light refreshments at Hunter on May 10th at 7 o'clock. Some of the other things Youth Assistance does is send kids to camp. We have recreational activities. We're going to a Tigers game this year and the Red Oaks Water Park. Because we're tri-sponsored by the city, thank you, the school and the county, we do provide counseling for our kids. And they're referred by parents, teachers, and our police department for counseling. Our longtime caseworker who's licensed social worker to provide therapies. Salary is paid by the county. Our long-term caseworker retired last year. We have a new caseworker, Brittany, who started in August, who is now moving to a different area in youth assistance. So we'll get a new caseworker, but I'm sure that person will be out and about to meet everybody again.
Any questions about this event? Roll call then, please.
Councilman Shepherd,
Yes.
Councilmember Tinlin,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Mayor Milan.
Yes, so we will have trick or treat trail October 22nd. Sadly, we'll be here before we know it, but until then, thank you. We'll move to the next item, which is,
Thank you, everybody, and thank you for my Spirit Award. Yay, go Clausen.
thank you for your spirit. The next, I was going to think you were just going to stand here all day and do all of these, right? So the next item on our agenda is consideration of the special event permit request for the Des Millionaire Farms to sell produce on Sundays at the city park from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. from May 7th, 2023 through November 5th, 2023. Would someone like to make a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move the special event permit request for Des Millionaire Farms to sell produce and baked goods on Sundays at the Clawson City Park parking area from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. May 7th, 2023 through November 5th, 2023 be approved as presented.
I knew you wanted to talk about this, sorry.
Support.
Thank you.
That is my uncle's last name, and you pronounced it correctly.
Oh, you know what they told me? They told me, say, Day Millionaire. That's what Bob, the farmer, tells me. But it just confuses me.
Well, Bob and Julie, the farmers, have been with us since 2009. We used to host the market weekly throughout the summer, but since we're not every week, they continue to provide their fruits and vegetables for sale in Clawson, which is a marvelous idea. Gets people outdoors to the park. You have healthy items to choose from, a good nutrition base for the week. So it's Bob and Julie and Mike who work with them. And we actually have many people who stop by there every Sunday to pick up tomatoes or whatever vegetables are in season. So they've been a staple in Clawson for many, many years. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
And they have, I'm sure, turned in all of their permitting, right? And we're good to go with all of that? Okay, perfect. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Tinlin,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Mayor Milan,
Yes,
Councilmember Shepherd.
Yes.
great. So we will
we got
welcome
produce.
the Des Millionaire Farms. I like Des Millionaire better. On Sundays, starting in May. And that's a good thing, because that means it is actually going to get warmer, right? Next item is item 9D, which is consideration of the first reading of an ordinance to amend the City of Clawson Code of Ordinances, Chapter 34, Article 10, Section 3.1, M.2, to medical offices in the BRD 1 district.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the first reading, consideration of the first reading of an ordinance to amend the City of Clawson Code of Ordinances, Chapter 34, Article 10, Section 3.1.M.2, to medical offices in the BRD 1 district.
Support.
Great. Who would like to speak on this?
I can do that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
So recently, on March 14th, the Planning Commission approved this addition to the zoning ordinance to allow medical offices in the district. The BRD1 district is intended to be as a gateway into the city from the south and is intended to provide opportunities to a variety of office and commercial uses that serve the needs of the community. And so when this zoning district was originally established, we believe that it was just mistakenly left out. And so this is now going to allow potential medical office or dental office to operate within the district. If you look at our other BRD district, which is the northwest area of Clawson on Maple and Crooks, offices medical is already currently a permitted use, so we're just making that consistent with both of our districts with this potential motion here.
Okay, any questions? Okay, then let's have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Mayor Milan.
Yes,
Councilmember Shepherd.
Yes.
Councilmember Tinlin.
Yes.
thank
Move to
you.
second reading.
We will now be allowing medical offices in our BRD1 district. Thank you, Nick, for that presentation.
After the next meeting.
After we approve it after this next meeting, right. Yeah, sorry. Phase 1. Okay, then we move on to item 9E, which we removed from our agenda. Which then takes us to old unfinished business. If anyone has any old unfinished business. Then we'll move on to public comments for items not on the agenda. If you'd like to speak for items that have not been on our agenda tonight, please come to the podium. We'll allow you 3 minutes. Please state your name and your address.
My name is Jean Nanadovich, and I live at 500 Bowman in Clawson. I was at the city council meeting on February 21st. Joan Horton from the DDA, Sean, and Charlie applied for and were granted special event permits for July 8th and August 26th. Those 2 events were on the agenda. As they were walking away from the podium, Joan mentioned an additional event to be held on May 20th in downtown Clawson involving street vendors, food trucks, and people enjoying cocktails out and about in the downtown area. This event, it wasn't on the agenda. I checked and discovered that no special event as of this date has ever been applied for. I welcome any and all special events in our city, but having a special event without applying for a special event is unacceptable. I've read Chapter 56 of our Code of Ordinances regarding special events, and I thank Nick for getting me there. Under application fees, it states, in order for a special event to not require city council action, it must not require city services. So I'm wondering if that downtown Clawson event, I'm sure it must require some type of other city services. So I'm wondering about that. And the excuse I read in comments and wording was a government agency acting within the scope of its function. And I think I need clarity on that because if you're within the scope of your function, it would seem like it would just be your function and nobody else would have to function like the DPW, the police department. You know, I mean, so if the fire hall, if they want to have a little party at their place, they don't have to have a special event permit. It doesn't require anything, but having downtown vendors, I think that requires an ordinance. I mean, a special event permit. I am curious how the city manager and the council found out about the event. I started looking, I saw it on Facebook on February 7th. I don't know how the DPW and the police department are supposed to find out. And I also heard that Andrea Hodges sent an email to all the Christmas in Clawson crafters on February 21st in the morning soliciting for vendors for this event. And I'm wondering how Andrea, who gives her the authority to solicit for vendors for an event that hasn't been approved? So I'm just wondering how that works. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay,
I've
and
heard the reasoning, but it still doesn't really make sense to me.
Now, to if I may,
yes, please.
to Jean's concern and complaint, she did speak with me about it as well. Madam Mayor, I spoke with you briefly about it. I do think to make this most equitable for all of our stakeholders, we will likely need some modification to the special events permit ordinance. So just so that it's just so that the administration is at least involved and informed as to what is going on, regardless of governmental entity or not.
Sounds good.
To me, that's common courtesy. I mean, I'm sorry that we have to have a rule, but that seems like it should be common courtesy. You should have known.
I will agree with you, and I did speak with the DDA chair and the director about that as well.
So we'll be looking at that coming up on a future agenda to adjust that.
Future of the
ordinance?
operative word, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. Thanks. Would anyone else like to speak this evening?
All right, one more item. The police department scholarship fundraiser is coming up this weekend, March 24th. It's a bowling fundraiser, starts at 8 o'clock. If all the spaces are full, people can still come up for raffle items, right, at Astro. Do you want to talk about it? Because this is Kelly's brainchild, so I think you should get some credit for it.
Thanks, Madam Mayor, Council. Sergeant Bouse from Clawson Police Department, we did present on this the last city council meeting, so about 2 weeks ago. But yeah, just a reminder to the community, this Friday at 8 p.m., we will have our scholarship fundraiser for our scholarship program. We do still have at least 29 open bowling spots. If anybody would like to register, we will still take them. And we can take walk-ins at the door as well. We do have several gracious businesses in the city and in surrounding communities that have donated gift cards and other items such as a round of golf for 4 people in a cart, bowling balls, stuff of that nature that we'll be raffling off at the event as well. So if, like Mrs. Lubes just said, if you would like to come up and just socialize and maybe participate in the 50/50 or the other raffles, you're more than welcome.
Great.
Any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Okay, then we will close public comment and move to our city clerk's report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's been a lot of discussion in the council and in the community about the boards and commissions. So I researched several different ways. Some cities have a written policy, some don't. So there's several different written policies. I think the direction we want to go with here is a written policy. And so I would propose that I recruit 1 or 2 of you on the council here, and I will recruit.
I'll volunteer for that.
Okay, thank you, Glenn. And I will lasso one of our other staff members at the Monday staff meeting to spend an hour going over the different policies and see what we think fits and what we should do immediately going forward. Do we want to start messaging people 3 months out, 6 months out, something like that, to put it on the calendar so we get calendar alerts will ding so we know how to follow up. So instead of just debating it all right here with a big room, I think we could sit down and bang it out in about an hour amongst people that are interested.
Are you allowed to have one more volunteer?
I could have 2. I can't have 3 because that would be a quorum.
I'd like to volunteer as well.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. I'll email you along with the staff member and.
I feel left out,
right.
but
That's part of, you're supposed to. You're supposed to
my
feel left
colleagues
out.
on the other end.
That's the,
We can approve it without us, so it's okay.
so, do we need a motion to create that commission? All right, I guess we should have a motion to create that ad hoc committee if you would.
Madam Mayor, I move that we create an ad hoc committee to review the process for commissions.
I support.
What does our charter say specifically about creating ad hoc committees?
Or is it standing?
Standing committees we
sorry,
can't do. Ad hocs we can.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
I just want to make
Ad hoc is
sure.
right.
Yes, we just went over this,
I
yeah.
know there's something in there about committees.
Yes, can't have permanent committees.
Okay. All right, then, does anyone have any questions? Pretty clear? Roll call, please.
Mayor Milan,
Yes.
Councilmember Shepherd,
Yes.
Councilmember Tinlin,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great, so you will create that, well, we've
Good.
created an ad hoc committee, and you will meet in the near future, and then you'll bring your information back to us for approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. City Attorney's report?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. Just one item, I wanted to thank Councilmember Tinlin and the city manager. They've worked on a draft of the document that we spoke of last time with respect to the reviews that we that this body does of the 4 employees that it has. They've forwarded it since to me. I'm working on it. I'm pretty much finished. I think I'm doing one more read, and then we'll set it back and we'll bring it, to a hearing coming soon near you.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Any questions for our city attorney this evening?
I do.
Yes.
Mr. Nishai, how are we coming with our short-term rental agreement ordinance, Part 2?
I know that the Planning Commission is working on it. I know they've debated it quite a bit.
Okay.
So they're working on it.
Okay, so I could confer with them and get more details then.
I mean, yes, I mean, I'm happy to, report back, but I know that it's in the works. They haven't finalized it. If they haven't finalized it in any way, shape, or form, but they're moving forward. There was a lively debate that I wasn't present for, but I watched. I get to watch these things religiously. There was a lively debate about the parameters, and I think it sounds like, to me, from my observation of it, it sounded like there's probably a lot more work of that body. I believe there was some conversation about involving council as well, seeking some direction. I don't want to characterize it in any way, shape, or form, but I want to say that I think that was sort of left open. I think there's going to be more in that regard. I think they require a little more conversation.
Would it be wise that we have a joint meeting with them regarding their questions, or that they come in front of us, or how, because there was a lot of questions, and there were some questions regarding what the, as you mentioned, the parameters, what was the instigation for it, and things like this, so. But in those regards, we've already gone through, the process was on why we wanted it. I guess, I don't know if that's.
It gets to be, on the one hand, with, overall, council could, of course, sit down with other bodies. There's, in workshop session without having conversation specific, or without having specific votes on topics. So in that sense, absolutely, council can make the decision, or upon request, you can make the determination. There's some considerations for this body to have as to whether you involve yourself in the inner workings of the committee. I think
we can't give them direction on what they need to do.
Precisely.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. If that's all.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. We will move to our city manager's report. Mr. Ricker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Staff has been working on our fields since the second week in February, weather permitting, to get them in the best playing shape possible. CYBSL has proposed the donation of a specific piece of equipment that will assist in the field maintenance. Pardon me, I do not have the name of this specific piece of equipment. Councilmember Shepherd, do you?
It's like a large garden weasel. That's really what it is. It tills the soil, but not aggressively.
Anyways, it's a generous donation on their part. The staff is working on the particulars to gain that piece of equipment. And the first week in April, staff, contractors, and AEW will gather again in preparation for Selfridge Phillips construction project to reinvigorate that project and get it underway again for this construction season. Any of your questions?
We might miss those orange, all that stuff piled up there. It's become home, right?
Not for long.
Not for long.
Not forever.
CUIBSL sent an email regarding a potential kickoff to their season.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Want to champion that one?
Yes, so CYBSL did ask if, I think it was, I can't remember what the offer was, if it was for all the electeds and staff, or if it was, they wanted to sanction a confrontation in athletics. So, and so I have forgotten to respond to Mr. Gaglio on that, so I will respond on that.
So if anyone wants to participate, is the way I took it, if you would like to participate in a baseball game against the CUBSL, I don't know if it's against the.
I want to say it was against the
kids,
coaches.
Right? I would think it's against the coaches.
Which I'm not sure is fair either.
I don't know, I might have to play both sides, so I'm not sure of that.
Yeah, so we need good representation. Yeah. I will cheer really loudly for both teams, of course, because why wouldn't you? But Yeah, so that will be something fun coming up. Did you have anything else, or was that it?
No, ma'am.
Okay, any questions for the city manager? No?
A couple, yes. The project on Broadacre, Washington and Redruth, how are those looking timing-wise?
Still don't have any information on that yet.
Okay, we have the funding, it's just
We-
timing.
We have the funding awarded to us. We don't have it in our possession.
Okay, so in other words, even though a portion of that is actually from the city,
Correct.
the portion coming from the federal government.
Correct.
That's gonna hold up the timing?
To be determined. More than likely, as AEW has indicated, but I've yet to have the specifics on that.
Okay, because the new construction season is upon us. And it's good to see Selfridge Phillips get finished off, but there's still a long way to go.
There's going to be coordination challenges, which will probably push the timeline, but we have more time than money, so unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, I think you put on an email that the project for school and
Trion.
Drion,
And
that had, I guess, been submitted for the budget at the state level?
it has, yes,
Yeah.
but we have not, did we get confirmation back on that one yet?
For school and Drion?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe
Oh,
so.
yes, that was the $5.999 million one, yes, yes.
Right.
And I announced that at the last, yes.
So it's taken the next step, which is now part of the state budget?
Correct.
Okay. Again, maybe this is outside our area of knowledge, but how will that proceed and what?
Well, as the state formulates and finally approves their budget, then we'll get notification closer to June.
Okay. Okay.
That's it? Okay, thank you. Now we'll go to city council comments. Councilmember Sampson, we see you. Do you have any comments for us from far, far away?
No.
Okay, well, thanks for joining with us anyways. We'll move on then to Councilmember Shepherd.
Just thank God spring is here. That's it, so.
It'll
snow in May, but
Not so
sure.
confident, yeah. Councilmember Tinley?
Just one this time. So I'd just like to thank all the Clawson citizens that are serving diligently on the boards and commissions. You know, that really is vital for our city and community. Well, I think the work is very rewarding and can be very challenging as well. So again, just thank you for all those citizens that are helping us in the boards and commissions.
Great. Mayor Pro Tem Anderson.
Just like to second Mr. Tinlin's statement, that yes, we would appreciate those people.
All in favor of that statement? We can do it all in favor this time, right? Yeah, we'll allow it this one time.
Informal.
Okay, so then I would just like to say, I do have a question regarding upcoming meeting dates for budget, for the budget. We have a few things on the calendar coming up. Could you just please announce those? Sorry to put you on the spot with that.
So we have April 19th Wednesday, May 3rd Wednesday, and May 4th Thursday as the budget workshops.
Okay.
They're all at 7 PM.
Okay, thanks. For some reason, I was thinking they were quicker than that, but that's because I'm pushing spring too. So thank you for that.
So, I'm sorry, just to recap, April 19th, May 3rd, May 4th.
Correct.
7 PM. All right, so I would like to say thank you to all of the women, again, who serve in every capacity for our community. When I spoke with our city manager, and he was gracious and allowed, encouraged to put this proclamation on to support women, I was thinking about how fortunate Clawson is, because we have a lot of leaders in our community who are women, and our boards and commissions are full of women as well, and as it should be, right? And saying that thank you to all of them for serving, because they often have the task of, taking care of families and doing community things, and then also working, not to minimize that men also work, take care of families and serve, but sometimes they don't have the same balance. So we appreciate the women in this Women's Month, but we appreciate the men every day as well. So Clawson's just fortunate to have really great people who are willing to serve on our behalf and to help make our community better. And with that, I'm going to just call for a motion to adjourn.
Madam Mayor, I move that we adjourn.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Anderson?
Yes.
Milan?
Yes.
Shepherd?
Yes.
Tinlin?
Yes.
We're adjourned. I get to go back to
Shortest
charter
meeting
now.
ever in a long time.